Welcome to the Art of Education's Art Room Hacks. In today's episode, we're going to be talking all about printmaking and hacks to make teaching printmaking so much easier. Hi art teachers, my name is Chris Hodge and I'm an art teacher from the Chicagoland area. Acrylic glass can be your friend in printmaking. Have you noticed the price of copper going through the roof these days, making it so difficult to do etching or intaglio-based printing in your classroom? Besides being inexpensive and easy to cut, acrylic glass is also transparent, which helps for when you're transferring your image. I usually use an ultrafine tip permanent marker to trace out my design. You can also tape your design to the glass. I usually use a hobby knife to cut away the surface. Pins, a compass, rough sandpaper can work as well. The deeper your grooves, the bolder your lines. Once you have your etching finished, you can check it by shining a light through it. Looks pretty good. You need to coat the grooves with ink and then wipe away the excess. There's some great water-based, slow-drying inks out there because water-based inks do tend to dry fairly quickly. I usually wet my paper to soften it in advance and then I run it through a press. It's inexpensive and easy to cut and looks great. Do your students ever struggle with lining up their colors for multicolor printing? A clipboard can work wonders for you. Clipboards are inexpensive. You can also oftentimes find them at thrift stores or garage sales, or even get them donated to your school. I start by gluing a piece of linoleum to the clipboard. I usually allow 2 inches between the plate and the clip. Be sure to add some pressure in order to ensure a strong bond. You can carve directly onto the clipboard. After they have their design, I encourage them to think about it in terms of stages, starting with the lightest color and working to your darkest color. After you are finished with carving the area for your first color, then you can line up the paper onto the clipboard. I usually add a pencil mark on the back of the paper. That mark will show you where to line that print up when you're clipping it in place. After making the first printing, you can rinse the ink off the linoleum and start the next layer until you're left with the last one, and I think the kids will be really satisfied with the results. It also is fantastic for storing your prints when you're all done. Did you want your print to come out like this, but when you actually printed it, it came out like this? Oops. Sometimes it can be really easy to print your pictures backwards, and tracing paper can be a fantastic way of not only transferring your image, but keeping it going the right way. Place your tracing paper over the original image. Students can trace something out of their sketchbooks, or off their phones, or even off of a computer screen. Trace it with a soft-leaded pencil. Then place it face down on top of your printing plate, and retrace it from the opposite side. The pressure of the mark making on the opposite side will help to transfer your lines. Your design has been transferred, and the text in the image will appear great. Are you and your students getting tired of traditional printmaking? Let's take this show on the road. All you're gonna need is some paper, ink, printing plate, brayer, a brush, and a little bit of paper towel and water for cleaning up. Let's go. Have the students find an interesting surface. You can ink bark, asphalt, sewer drains, etc. Then ink it and place your paper down and add pressure using the baren. It's very important that you use water-based ink because you don't want to do any permanent damage to the surfaces that you're printing from. You can always test your ink out in a small portion before inking a larger section. This also is a big cost saver because you no longer need to spend money on expensive plates to make your prints. You can also try adding a masking frame to better define your printing area. I found this plastic to be of great use for it. Wow! Wasn't that a fantastic way to breathe some new life into your printmaking? And we have some beautiful prints to show for it. For an in-depth look at various printmaking processes, be sure to explore Pro Learning. Pro has on-demand professional development videos on lithography, relief printing, screen printing, transfers, gel printing, dry point, and monoprinting. We'll post a link in the description box below. Are you getting buried in students' test prints, misprints, and ghost prints? You can have the students take those old prints and try painting or drawing back into them. Watercolor, colored pencil, and marker are all great medias to pair with the printing ink. Students can draw into their own prints or exchange prints and draw into each other's. They can also try making a series of prints, drawing into each one in a unique and interesting way. Why throw away the prints when you can have the students repurpose them into something new? It's really a great exercise in creativity. community. I think printmaking is important to include in your class because it teaches kids different processes and ways of thinking about art making. Students really need to be thoughtful about how they're conveying their image through the print. Whether you teach elementary or high school or somewhere in between, it helps them understand the positive and negative relationship between the plate and the paper and gets them thinking in a very different way. They'll also have multiple prints of their artwork that they can share with their friends and family and possibly you. When you have a classroom full of students all making multiple print editions, the amount of prints can pile up fast. Drawing racks are expensive, and sometimes there just isn't enough room in the classroom. Or maybe you're doing a printmaking unit in a classroom that just isn't built for printmaking. You can use a simple string and some clothespins to have the students hang and dry their prints while showcasing all of their amazing work. Or even purchase an inexpensive expandable clothesline. This one has stopping clips to keep the prints from touching each other. It may have been built for camping, but it works for classrooms as well. Inexpensive, effective, and aesthetically pleasing. Is the price of fancy printing papers piling up? Have the students cut the pages out of an old book and use the pages to print their artwork upon. It's fun to match the page number with the number of print they're making. Bonus points for matching the theme of the artwork to the theme of the book. This hack can be a very interesting way of editioning your prints while telling a story of your print on a story. You can often find old books at thrift stores, in garage sales, and even libraries. Like this book, which was recently withdrawn from our school library. Makes for good reading and great printmaking. You can take some old erasers and transform them into mini printing blocks. I like to have the students arrange their initials in different and creative ways. While they're planning, they want to keep in mind the size of the media they're going to transfer the design to, which in this case is an eraser. For the earlier levels, this might be just a great way to create a stamp that they can use to leave their mark on a surface. Whereas in more advanced levels, this can be a great way to introduce them to the concept of flipping text and how to incorporate text into block printing. This can be a great way to repurpose old erasers and use them in a whole new way. Do your students ever struggle with seeing the contrast that they're creating in their image? Pre-inking your plate can work wonders for helping them visualize how their image is actually going to look when printed. Students can struggle with the positive-negative process of printmaking. If you pre-ink the plate or add some color to the printing surface first, it can really help you visualize the areas that you were removing. Isn't this a fantastic hack? I never start a plate without coating it first. We would like to hear from you about your favorite printmaking hacks. Be sure to drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this series, be sure to check out our first season of Art Room Hacks. It'll be linked above. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to The Art of Ed so you don't miss other mini-series in the future. Bye for now.